Hey guys, I'm Rich from NeoWin. Today we're unboxing the LG V30. Now you might notice that the box is just a regular brown box. That's because this is a first look unit, and I'll have a regular review unit at some point, and I'll probably do another unboxing at that point. But for now, this is what we got, and I'm recording this a week before you're actually gonna see it. So like I said, it's not final hardware yet, but I have gotten a chance to play around with one, and now I get to actually use one in real life. So obviously this is not what the final packaging will look like, and yeah, it's just a regular basic box. Alright, so one thing you notice about the back, I removed a sticker back here, that's why you have that. But a lot more glossy than the G6 was, and you can see it. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's almost like a Samsung type of design. It's metal with glass over it, and it does have wireless charging. So I do have the G6 right here, and one of the things and you can see it has that kind of brushed metal look rather than just completely metallic. But one thing that I praised the G6 for when I reviewed it was that it wasn't really a fingerprint magnet, despite the fact that it had a glass panel. Now, this seems to get fingerprints a lot more easily. I'm thinking maybe they just didn't show as easily on the G6 due to that brushed metal look. I have the V20 here also, which didn't have that glass panel over it at all. It was just metal. And yeah, so we have the metal frame around the side. It's really a beautiful device. USB Type-C. All right, SIM card over here, and a headphone jack at the top. Fingerprint. It's LG's regular design. All right. We can see the camera bump is getting smaller. All right. It's I'm not a big fan of the camera bump. Some people don't care. Some people put a case on the back and you don't feel it at all. But when you put this thing flat down on a table, you notice it, right? The G6 didn't really have a camera bump at all, but this is a thinner device, okay, and it's lighter. So if we boot this up, we'll see we have a OLED display. It should be P OLED. LG's calling it full vision. See anything else on the box? Yeah, we just have a charger here, USB Type A to Type C. I don't even know if this is the final charger that's going to come in the box. Type A adapter, and that's it. But want to look at the device itself. So like I said, this is really a first look. Alright, so Android is starting up. We can see, if we put this side by side, the bezel is much smaller. Alright, so we're gonna have to set this up, but yeah, so LG's really going for an edge-to-edge type of look with it's going for no bezel. Obviously there is some bezel on the bottom. There's a much smaller bezel, even smaller than the G6 over here. All right, and it's a beautiful phone with a beautiful display, and we can see that it takes a lot more design cues from the G6 than the V20, which is really just a really big device. The removable battery's gone. We had this little switch on the back that you could use to pop the back cover off. You can see, just press that and it would just come off, but you can't do that anymore. All right, but yeah, it's you can see these are pretty similar, but it's thinner. It's it ditches the second display, which, again, this is the second display on the V20, if you're not familiar with it. And that's gone now. So what we have now is a floating display, which we'll get to in a moment, if I can ever just set this up. Okay, so we're going to set up Google Assistant. All right, adding finishing touches. I find this all really frustrating. I don't want to go through all this. I agree. Alright. No, we're not going to set up from an old device. Yeah, I know I keep saying it's a beautiful device, but it really is. I'm not a big fan of these LG notifications. You can see that there's no app drawer. So what you're going to do with this is, you can actually see, by the way, that it shows up differently. I can focus on one screen or the other, and it's a little tough to handle. But if you swipe up, you can go into settings, and so anyway, like many phones, you can turn the app drawer on or off through settings. We can see that the floating bar is turned off by default. All right, and that's just this. So that's your, again, more settings, and I get really frustrated because I know how to use the phone. But yeah, so you can move this around. That's something I kind of have to get used to. And I kept trying to do this at the event, where I would just try to swipe it open like this because there's an arrow, but no, you have to tap it and it'll open that way, and that's how you get to it. And you can just keep scrolling across, and presumably you can add more and everything. But and this will stay open if you go into certain apps. Other apps, if you go into, it's gonna get rid of it. If I can find one, yeah, like camera. More more instructions. I really don't need this. Graphy, Cinevideo. I'll be doing separate reviews for that type of stuff. Lots of really cool camera features. If I can ever get through all the, I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about the floating bar. It's something that seems like it might get in the way if you play games on your phone. Um, it's something you might accidentally hit. I'm not a big fan of things that just kind of stay on the screen at all times. So we'll see how that goes. Now, one more thing about this phone. It's LG's first phone with a Snapdragon 835 processor, which is kind of a big deal because the G6 has a Snapdragon 821 and the V20 has a Snapdragon 820. So 835 is a big improvement as far as performance goes and as far as GPU performance goes, which is a big deal, more so than many people might care to admit, because I've found Qualcomm's processors to be a little underpowered when it comes to playing games and some other performance-intensive type of tasks. And this has been a problem for a while. Remember, LG was using the Snapdragon 808 in the G4 and the V10 after it had the problem with the 810 in the G Flex 2, and that was very underpowered. It had a lot of trouble handling a 1440p display. The 820 and the 821 was a lot better, but you could still kind of see it start to struggle if you had a lot of moving parts on the screen. And in my experience so far, the Adreno 540 GPU in the Snapdragon 835 really solves a lot of those issues. And I haven't had any problems with it yet, so I'm excited to try that out. So yeah, we have a lot of cool camera features. The floating bar. In general, the design though seems nice. The fingerprint reader was easy to set up. The screen looks great. The screen really does look great. I'm actually a little surprised because they went with P OLED, and in my experience, the AMOLED displays are a lot better than P OLED. So yeah, but it really does look great. I'm excited to spend more time with it, and I'll have other, I say I'll have other reviews like about the camera, the display, the audio quality, and all that stuff. But and I'm going to be working on that over the next week. But you're going to see all these things around the same time. So and I'll catch you then. I'm Rich from NeoWin. Have a great night.